Hi, I'm Christopher,
I'm Adam.
and we're the creators of Sentinel Comics.
That's us.
We've been working on this for a long time, working on a game called Sentinels the Multiverse since 2010, and we've been excited to be working on the Sentinel Comics role-playing game.
It is a privilege to be able to bring this to you.
Absolutely. The thing that I think really makes the Sentinel Comics role-playing game sing is heroes' principles. The way heroes work is they have powers and qualities and their status, and they use those three things to put together a dice pool, and then sometimes they use their abilities. But that's all of the mechanics of how you do a thing, and that's great. Yeah. But the fact that heroes have principles, that pulls the whole game together. It tells you who you are as a hero, what you're interested in, what you're worried about, and it provides what you're really good at, because you get those green abilities out of it, but also it provides you with your minor and major twists that are intrinsic to yourself.
So it inherently incentivizes you for playing in character. It's really something that I think every role-playing game could do with.
It's just something that hooks you in. Is this is part of who I am as a hero, and as a result, this is going to color everything I do, both my successes and my failures. The minor twists and the major twists that come out of your principles really push the game and the stories of the game in ways that have to acknowledge the heroes that are in it. The changing out one hero for another hero is going to change so much about a game and about a story. So whenever you take any sort of action in Sentinel Comics, the role-playing game, you're going to take one of your qualities, one of your powers, and your status at the time, which is either your green zone, your yellow zone, or your red zone. Each of those three zones has a die associated with it, and each of your powers and qualities have their own dice associated with them. So you're like, okay, I'm going to try to throw a knife at a criminal, so I'm going to use my special throwing knives power and my ranged combat quality, and I'm in the green zone, and my green zone die is a d6, so I'm going to grab those three dice, I'm going to roll them, and I'm going to take the mid results, the median rolling results. If I roll a 3, 4, and a 5, I take a 4. And there's abilities that change that, and there's different reasons why that would change, but that's kind of the basic. Whenever you're doing anything, an attack, a boost, a hinder, an overcome, a defend, you're going to build a dice pool out of your power,
deciding
quality,
your action
status.
is very simple.
Right, it's just simple, but it's also evocative, because if I'm like, I'm not really sure what I want to do, I'm going to take this power, this quality, this status, well, I'm describing how I'm doing at the time because of my status, and I'm describing the power and quality that I'm using to do the thing. So even if you're like, the equivalent of I hit it with my sword, you've got more descriptive words in that.
Yeah.
And the process of playing the game as a result, even if you're a veteran RPG person who has extensive storytelling abilities at the table, great, you're going to have a fun time. But if you're like, I'm not really sure, is this going to work out for me? You're going to be fine. You're going to craft a story accidentally almost while playing the game.
Well, that's my favorite part about the twist system. Also, is that I go, okay, I want to destroy this magical seal. And so I'm going to make this overcome thing of I build my dice pool, I do it, and I succeed, but I have this twist. And so how do I succeed? And that's inherently narrative.
And that comes from either your principles. The twist comes from something the hero's like, oh, I succeed, but there's this drawback that's specifically related to me. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes, if the hero doesn't have a thing, they can throw it to the GM. The GM's like, well, I've got something for the scene where you attempted to destroy this magical seal, and you did so. Yeah. A twist will never negate your success. You destroy the magical seal. Right. But then, the twist is, the word of this destruction of the seal passes on to the seal's father, the magical walrus.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Another thing that's really great about the accessibility of Sentinel Comics role-playing game is how easy it is to GM. Just to pick up a game and go.
It's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
I am someone who generally has a more improvisational GM style, so I'll just get some building blocks and go. And this has catered to that very well.
The system supports that so much.
I don't have to think of as much, because it's this cool collaborative storytelling thing,
right,
that I throw things to the players a lot, and I feel like there's a lot more back and forth between the GM and the players.
Yeah. When you're GMing and you've got a bunch of minions, you're like, oh, these minions, the thing you need to know for the minions is their die size and any abilities they have, if any. So you're like, okay, these are minions and they've got big spiky fist things, so they're going to get a +1 on their attacks, so that's their ability, and they're all D8. So I grab, and there's 6 of them. So I grab 6 d8s, and I can roll their attacks, and we're good to go. Whenever you have a minion, they are represented by a single die. When they attack or defend or boost or hinder or overcome, whenever they do any of their actions, they roll that 1 die. And the result they get is the number they get, unless they have any abilities that tweak that in some way. When you attack a minion, it doesn't have like a health pool or hit points or anything like that has to worry about. It just has its die, and it rolls that die in defense, and if you beat the die number, you destroy it, and if you don't beat the die number, you don't destroy it, but you're a superhero. You're attacking a minion. If you attack a minion as a hero, that minion's going to be in trouble. So if it's a D8 minion and you attack it and you get 4 damage going at this minion and it rolls a 5, it succeeds on its save, but it degrades from a D8 to a D6. So in that way, the minions, the heroes are always succeeding, but sometimes they're succeeding completely. Sometimes they're succeeding with a twist.
Well, and I really like the aspect of the lieutenants also, because they do feel like minions plus.
Right.
That they're just 1 die. The same way they'll have some other ability a lot of the time.
They usually have more abilities than minions, but still not that many.
But instead of degrading when they make their defense, they don't take any damage.
Right. If they succeed on the defense roll, they don't degrade.
There's something stronger that a hero has to hit multiple times to get rid of them.
And if a hero does succeed on attacking them, instead of them just being destroyed, then they degrade. Yeah. So minions, lieutenants hang around a lot longer without being like, here's a whole 2-page character sheet. Not that we don't have whole-page character sheets for full-on villains. Villains act a lot more like heroes. They've got powers, quality, status. Their status isn't necessarily based on their health. It could be based on their gimmick, something that they're doing in the scene, whatever their goals are. They've got abilities, and then rather than principles, they have masteries, the thing that they are good at. And then there's various villain upgrades you can give them based on the story you're doing, the sort of heroes they're facing against, if you want to have a team of villains or if you just want to have one big villain. Like there's a lot of cool dials to turn on making the stories and the characters your own.